did bar graphs and dot plots. This is just another type of graph. All right. Now, we're not really learning a brand new skill, okay? Because we are using skills that y'all learned in 6th grade, and that when we did them again at the beginning of the year, okay? So we have percentages. We're going to have to deal with turning a percent into a number, figuring out what it's representing and stuff like that. But you've done it in 6th grade. We did it again this year. So it's not something that's brand new. Now we're going to have to jog our memories, but that's okay. So a circle graph is a graph that displays data as parts of a whole. In a circle graph, the percentage adds up to 100. Remember how I would always say percent is something out of what? 100. Because if you have 100% of something, you have what? A whole. Okay? So all your percentages have to add up to 100%. Does that mean the total number of whatever is surveyed is 100?
Yes.
No. Because if you look right here, it says 200 students were surveyed. Okay? So if all 200 students represent 100%. So we have to figure out what percentage, what 22% of 200 is and stuff like that. Okay? Now, there were certain ways that we found what the percents were representing. Okay? Does anybody remember how if I had 22% and my total was 200, how I found what that number was? What did you say though, Hattie? Okay. 22 over 100. Is that representing my percent? Okay.
It's like cross, multiply, whatever.
Okay. So then we had our part and our total. And yes, you could cross, multiply, and divide. All right. That is one way that works every single time without fail. Okay. Is there an easier way to do it?
Yeah.
What is it?
Multiply, cross.
No.
Not divide. You're supposed to divide.
No.
Part multiply total. What don't you do 100 times the part divided by the percent, and then
it just depends which one you're solving for, yes. But let's ignore this for a second. Is there an easier way for me to figure out what 22% of 200 is?
divide?
Not divide. Yes. Okay. So if this is your go-to and this is like, I know how to do this, this is what I'm comfortable with, I'm doing it every time, that is completely fine. But there is a way to save you time. All right. If I had 22%, the way to figure out what your number is representing is take your percentage. What is 22% as a decimal? 0.22. Remember, we remove our percent sign, move it 2 places over. So we would take 0.22 and multiply it times our total. What's our total? 200.
And then we just divide that?
Nope, multiply. So I have 4 and 4. How many decimal places did I have?
2.
So that is 44. Okay. So then I have 0.38. How many total students did I have? 200. 8 times 2 is?
16.
16. Carry my 1, so 6, 7. I had 2 decimal places.
76.
76. Okay. So then I have 13. So 0.13 times 200. 0, 0, 6, and 2. How many decimals did I have? 2. So I have 26. All right, so here, what is 8% as a decimal? 0.08, because I have that empty spot. All right, so if I do 0.08 times 200, okay, I have 2 decimal places. So this is 16, and I have 19. This works every time also, yes. But some people really, it just helps them to see it as a part and total equals to percent over 100 for some reason.
No, we got add them all up then.
Okay, why would you add them up? Well, we know what our total is, right? What is our total? 200. But is it a good idea to add them all together?
Yes.
Why? To check our work, okay? Because how many of us, is it really easy for us to make a mistake while multiplying? Yes. Okay? So it is really good for you to add them up and make sure you got your total of 200. Okay, so if I do 38, 44, 76, 16, and 26, and I add them together. Okay. Gets me my 200. So I know all of it is correct. Okay. Now I did that without even looking at what my questions were asking. Anytime you have a circle graph, you're going to need to know what number is representing that percent. Okay. So if you want to go ahead and do this, I absolutely recommend doing that, because you could read all this and then realize you have to do it, or just start out by finding your numbers anyways. Okay. All right. Now this first one's a lot. It sounds like a lot. All right, but it's not as bad as it sounds. Okay. So it says write a ratio right there. Gives you your first step that compares the part of students that preferred going to a state park to the part of students that preferred going to an amusement park. So I'm looking at the people that went to a state park to an amusement park. Express this ratio as a fraction, decimal, and percent. Then interpret the ratio's meaning. This last part we're not going to write, we're just going to talk about. So what all does it want from me?
A ratio, and then turn that ratio into a fraction, decimal, percent.
So one's 4 different things, right? Ratio, fraction, decimal, percent. What is a ratio?
Comparison to numbers.
A comparison of two numbers. Good, Hartley. All right. So how do I write this specific ratio? 38 to 76. Okay. Could I write it as 76 to 38? No. Anybody? Okay, a ratio is very, very important that you have to put in the order that it asks for. It asks for the state park first. So I have to put the state park first. So I have to put 38. And then it asks for the amusement park. 76. So 38 to 76. You can write a ratio like that. You can write it like this. You can write it as a fraction. Those are all ways to represent a ratio.
Can't you also do 38 equals 7?
No, they are not equal to each other. Okay. No, you don't add them up. So we did our ratio, yes? Okay, what's our second one that it wants? A fraction. So if this is as fraction form, can that be simplified? Yes, it can. So if I have, I'm going to write it up here, 38 over 76. What are some things I could simplify that by?
2.
I could do by 2. Okay. Anything bigger than that?
4. No.
All right, let's try by 2. What happens? This is just a way. This is what my brain likes to do when I see weird numbers that I'm not certainly sure of, is I like to see how close it is to half. So what would happen if I doubled 38? So that reduces to what? If this is half of 76, doesn't that make my fraction 1/2?
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Now, if I knew, let's say that wasn't a perfect half, but it got me close, that would know where I could be able to start dividing by to reduce. Okay, this makes it super easy to write it as a decimal. What is 1/2 as a decimal? 0.5, 0.50. Okay, what is that as a percent? It's mine. 50%. And that's it. We did our ratio, we did our fraction, we did our decimal, we did our percent. Now this last part, interpret the ratio's meaning. So if you had to put this in words, what would you say?
38 is half of 7.
Okay, but if I'm explaining what this ratio is to somebody.
38 students. Half want to go to the state park. Not half, because
That's exactly
Half of
right,
it-
Trey.
Half as many want to go
30
to the amusement or the state park and as the.
That is right. So you could say half as many would rather go to the amusement park or the state park as the amusement park, or twice as many would rather go to the amusement park than the state park. Something along those lines. But Trey, when he said half of the students would rather go and you said no, it can't be that. Why did you say that?
Because if it was happening to be half of 200.
Yeah, if you just said half, then you would insinuate you're meaning half of the 200, and we don't have 100, right? So that was a very good observation. You have to be very specific when you are explaining what you're talking about, okay? You have to throw in half of them would want to go, or half of the amount that would want to go to the amusement park would want to go to the state park, something along those lines. Okay, how many more total students were surveyed than prefer going to the ranch? Okay, it starts with total. So how many total students did I have? 200 were surveyed than prefer going to a ranch. How many preferred going to a ranch? 44. So if I do 200 minus 44, what am I going to get? 156. I want y'all to get in the habit of labeling so that it shows you know what we are talking about.
That's all we had to do.
How many more students favor visiting the zoo than going to the state capitol? So how many want to go to the zoo? 26. How many want to go to the state capitol?
16.
What's 26 minus 16?
10 more students want to go to.
Yes, if it wanted to write you a comparison statement, that is the exact way that you would write it. Okay, now, was that problem really easy right there, the numbers?
Yes.
Instead of just writing 10, though, I want y'all to make sure you're showing me which two numbers you are comparing. Okay? Regardless of how easy it is, I can do this in my head. Why do I have to write it? You have to write it because I need to know what you're looking at. Okay, so the circle graph below shows the compiled results of 8th grade student schedules for next year. A total of 400 students were scheduled. So what do you think I should do before I look at the questions?
No, multiply.
I need to figure out my numbers, right?
Yeah.
So put that as a decimal, which is 0.38 times 400. Okay, and then I have 0.21.
Is that 152?
Yes. Anytime I see 25, what should I think of? Quarters. How many quarters are in a dollar? 4. So what is a fourth of 400?
100.
100.
Genius, Trey.
Will.
Sorry.
Okay, somebody tell me what they got for the 16%.
Hold up. Wait a minute. I'm solving.
Okay, if I add those all together, what should I get? 400. Somebody add them all together and check.
64. Oh, no, it don't.
How do you say? Oh, because it's 400. I did about 200 again.
Okay, you're learning.
Somebody add them all together and check.
Yes. Oh, shoot.
Did we get our right numbers? Okay. So A, what fraction of the total number of students is taking algebra? So it tells me right here what it wants. Fraction. My total's on bottom. How many students were surveyed? 400. How many of them are taking algebra?
152.
Now, we can absolutely simplify that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You can do by 2. You can do more than 2. Okay, so let's just do it by 2 real quick. Okay, well, I know 400, half of 400 is 200.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I still have even numbers, right? All right, what do I go to from there?
You go down again.
Right the moon
You
down.
go down again by 200. Because my previous one, it was 38.
Okay, so what do y'all tell me to reduce by? By 4?
You can't.
Well, 4 times, what do I get? 76 divided by 4.
19.
And then 20.
19 over 50. Good. That's it. 19 is a prime number.
And it's only asking for a fraction.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes, I do. Mm-hmm. Okay. How many more students are taking consumer math? Well, how many students are taking consumer math? 84. Then geometry. Okay, so yes, that's easy to do in my head. But is it also very easy for me to write that down? Yes. Okay, how many more students are scheduled to take algebra than are scheduled to take consumer math and geometry combined? So what would I have to do first?
84 plus 64.
Okay, I have to add up my consumer math and geometry. So 84 plus 64.
I got 148. And then you got to subtract
What do I subtract that from?
the algebra.
So 152 minus 148. 4.
How'd you get 4? Oh.
Excuse you.
Die. 4.
I'll come back. What is that one around?
Hmm?
No!
What is at the bottom?
Yeah. Yeah. Try this one on your own. Will.
It's only 80.
After we're done with the notes, yes.
Oh no.
Will, be quiet and get the problem done. Yes, ma'am.
Couldn't you just do 80 divided by all of like, couldn't you get 80 divided by 10 instead of doing 4?
No.
Because if you did 80 divided by,
Boys.
if you did 80 divided by 0.10, you get 800.
But we don't need 800.
So can we just do 80 divided by 10?
No. 80 times 0.10. You turn them in. Well, yes, because remember our percentages didn't we just turn them into decimals and we multiplied it times our total? Will. Stop.
It would be that times 80. Oh. Usually trying to draw.
Hi, coach.
Ok, pero. Cero, casi 0.
No.
¿Qué dice? Es el sharing, 80. Ok, ¿Cuántos estudiantes querían sándwiches, ensaladas, hamburguesas, hot dogs y pizza? ¿Cuántos?
Tengo que sumar.
Okay. ¿Cuánto
You can. Are y'all ready to go over 'em?
Yeah, no, I done finished.
Yeah, I got the circle and I got the answer.
Okay. How many students ate sandwiches? 16. How many students ate pizza?
24.
How many had hot dogs? Hamburgers? And salads?
Did you divide that to get it?
I multiplied it times the decimal version. So like we did 80 because that was our total. So do 80 times 0.2. It'll give me 16.
Oh, because it's 220.
Yes.
Okay.
Because to our percents, you have to turn them as decimals to multiply. Okay, so it says based on the circle graph, how many more students chose pizza? How many chose pizza? Then chose salad. 16.
Es que cada uno
Yes.
es multiplicado.
Question? Okay. Based on the circle graph, how many more students chose hot dogs? So I have 20 over hamburgers. 8. Did you look at the wrong categories?
Oh, yes.
Okay, we're gonna change. Why do y'all think I put these two problems that are evidently not circle graphs on here? Because y'all had a lot of problems with these. Okay. I'm thinking, depending on how much time we have left today or tomorrow, giving y'all back y'all's test and letting y'all look at it and then talking about it. We're going to keep seeing and practicing this because we had a hard time with it. Okay. Now, what is the difference between volume and surface area?
Wait, so we're doing volume, not
Volume
surface
is
area?
what's all together inside, and then surface area is the outside.
Yeah, volume is the space inside. Okay, so if I had a cup, the amount of liquid I could pour into it is the volume. Okay, surface area is exactly what it sounds like. Finding the area of every part of the surface. Okay,
The volume is the base times the height.
volume, the formula.
Right.
Okay, well, what shapes are these?
Triangle.
No.
Pyramid.
Pyramids. Okay, so you will have one of these lovely sheets. What does it say my formula is to find the volume of a pyramid? 1/3 big B. Why is that important?
Because we have to find the area of the
Good.
Oh, yeah.
That area, that big B means area of the base, not just the base, but area of the base.
We just do surface area.
We're doing volume right now. We're doing volume. Now, what is my base here?
Oh, yeah, questions like these.
What is my base here? No. What shape is my base? A square. Okay, so how do I find the area of a square? Base times height. So 6 times 6. So I have 1/3, 36. All right, what's my height? 4. Now, can I divide 3 and 36? Yeah. What is 36 divided by 3? 12. What's 12 times 4? 48. 48 inches cubed. Y'all have now seen this exact problem 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
At least 3. Because this one came off of notes and a review and I think one other paper. Okay. So we've seen this exact problem several times. Now, to find the surface area. Somebody was like, I keep forgetting the formula for surface area. There is no formula for surface area. Okay? What do you have to do?
Base times the height times the
I did to the lateral area.
going with. Then you do 6 times 6 times 4 plus L.
You do
Okay.
6 times 6 or
Okay, I do 6 times 6 first. Why?
because you didn't know the base.
I need to know the area of my base.
Well, don't-
Okay,
don't you
so
do
that's
6
36.
times 4?
No, I'm done with 6 times 6 now.
2 times 4.
Okay, now I found the area of my base because remember, surface area is finding the area of every surface. That square was my base surface. What are all of my sides made up of? A triangle. So do I need to find the area of a triangle? Okay. What is the formula to find the area of a triangle? 1/2 base times height. So looking at that triangle, what is my base? What is my height?
4.
So half of 6 is 12. Now, that was the area of one triangle. How many triangles were there? 4. Okay, because how many sides does my base have? 4. So every side of my base has to have a side that goes up to form my vertex up here. So I have 12 times 4 equals 48. So those are my sides. I have to add it to my base.
Where did you get 12?
Because 3 times 4.
Where did you get the 3?
I have 6. So 36 plus 48 is what? 84. Okay, so here to find the volume of a pyramid is 1/3 base times height. Now, what is the difference between this pyramid and this pyramid? This one is a triangular pyramid. So what is my base shape? A triangle. So instead of doing base times height like I did here, I have to do what? How do I find the area of a triangle? We did it right here. Okay, so I have 1/2. Now, if I'm just looking at my base triangle, what is my base measurement? 10, right here. This is a base. What is its height? 7. You see this line that's pointing? Okay. What's half of 10?
5.
5 times 7?
35.
Okay. So I just solved my big B. Now I bring the 1/3 down, and then it says height. What is the height of my shape? 12. Can I third either of those numbers? Which one can I third? 12. What's a third of 12?
3.
4.
Oh.
12 divided by 3 is 4.
I keep thinking you divided twice.
No.
¿Dónde?
140.
7. Ahí es uno de los
Okay.
tercos,
That
¿sabes?
140?
Yes.
Porque mira, es el-
All right.
esta
Now
vez-
remember to find the surface area. I am finding the area
esta vez donde-
of every single triangle, right? Did I already find my base area? What was it?
Ahora, la altura,
35. So I did my base already. Now I need to look at my sides. So I'm looking at one triangle. All right. My base is what? 10.
that's where we-
What is my height?
Uno-
Okay. I would have 12. So it's 10 times 6 gives me 60. Okay. How many triangles did I have? How many sides did I have? I had 3. Why did I have 3 and not 4? Because it's triangle. So the triangle has 3 sides. So I'm going to have 3 triangular sides. So I do 60 times 3, which gives me what? Okay, when I add those together, what do I get?